Jack Ebling here with Dan Kilbridge, a special edition of press coverage. Basketball early signing day. Big day for Tom Izzo, and his work's done for a while.
Exactly, and it's always fun for the fans and the media like to hear Izzo talk about these kids for the first time. You follow the recruiting process so intently that it's just very exciting to, now it seems real as opposed to just something that's way off in the future. These kids are coming to Michigan State, and now we've got Izzo on the record about them.
Michigan State losing some guards from the senior class, of course already lost Chris Allen, but losing three other guards when you think about Kalen Lucas, Darrell Summers, Mike Keebler, and replenishing with four perimeter players, very, very versatile performers.
Right, and the one guy who maybe is the most overlooked of this recruiting class, I think, is Travis Trice. He's maybe a smaller guy, played on the same AAU team as Brandon Dawson, who is also another recruit in this class. The thing I like about Trice, he's got a great jump shot, and you can tell with his quickness, just the way he's able to kind of cut in the lane a little bit and make those moves, even though he does have that great shot. He's a coach's son. They both seem very humble and very pleased to be here at Michigan State. I know they, when they committed or verbally committed, they drove off and they were about halfway to the highway, then pulled over and said, "I got to tell Izzo that we're coming to Michigan State." He couldn't wait anymore, so he's going to be a good addition, it sounds like.
All four of these guys remind you of some past Spartans when you think about it. If you look at someone like Dwan Anderson, to me, he has a little bit of Shannon Brown in him, left-handed, but extremely athletic and explosive and will play defense. You think about someone like Brandon Dawson, he's got a little bit of Allen Anderson in him in terms of versatility. Brandon Kearney, of course, Steve Smith analogies, and Tom Izzo made that very clear. And Travis Trice reminds me in a lot of ways of Drew Neitzel. Being able to see the floor, shoot the ball if he needs to do it. Here's a 43% three-point shooter. Michigan State's had some guys who don't shoot 43% at the foul line.
Right, and Neitzel's a guy who never really shot his first couple of years. He worked his way into the system and distributed, and then eventually turned into that great scorer his junior and senior year, and maybe that's something we'll see from Trice once he gets comfortable.
But Neitzel was a prolific scorer in high school, and I think he changed his game to what the team needed, and that seems to be what Travis Trice does wherever he plays.
Right, absolutely. And then as you mentioned, the Steve Smith comparison for Brandon Kearney, I mean, he's just got a knack for the floor, Izzo says. He really likes what he can do, and, he's just one of those guys that, you hear it all the time, but he has a high basketball IQ. He knows what he's doing out there, and, he needs to get a little better defensively, according to Izzo, but who doesn't when you're coming into this Michigan State system? So I think that's something Izzo will get to work on right away here.
Tom said that there were no big men in this class, and he would rather have a more balanced class, not all perimeter players, not all big guys, but you also have to replace the players you're losing. And these four seem to be almost a perfect fit. If you look at that and combine it with the guys who came in last year, you almost have to look at recruiting classes in two-year cycles.
Right, and you look at, Izzo talked about trying not to overload a position, but it's tough because you don't know who's leaving, you don't know who's coming back, and that's something where you have to kind of find that mix, and it looks like he's done a very good job with the forwards and guards he's bringing in this class. He's set with big men for a while, so now time to focus on the guards, and that's something where he's got a couple that he's very, very confident in this class.
Well, two different Brandons, spelled differently, neither one with the conventional spelling, so you can imagine how much fun the media is going to have with that. But when you look at these players, the one that jumps out to me maybe as a surprise is Dwan Anderson. A lot of people who may have seen him last year in Breslin Center in the playoffs and noticed how explosive he really was, but he's a tremendous all-around athlete, and like these other guys, half of it is wanting to be here. And when they come in, they've got that Spartan blood already. That helps Tom a lot.
Right, he's a Michigan guy, Sutton's Bay High, as you mentioned, played at the Breslin. So what he's been able to do, is he's a lefty and he's a pretty good slasher. So I think he's going to have some great scoring ability when he comes in here and should be able to contribute on the offensive end.
It'll be fun to watch these guys, and they're close enough that people can make road trips and watch them play this year. Jack Ebling here with Dan Kilbridge, a special edition of press coverage for SpartanTailgate.com.